Welcome students to the application development. So when it comes to the word web hosting, so we'll quickly discuss about this one. This is us, right? So this is us. We have the developer PC. We got the stuff here. In the developer PC, of course, we have our Apache web server running, MySQL database or MariaDB is running. We have Atom IDE, we have software. We were using Photoshop, we were using Bootstrap libraries, a lot of things we were having, right? So we were using a browser, right? So I'm using Brave browser. So in the developer PC, we have basically these kind of things, right? What we did here, we used the PHP programming language along with when we move on to the database program part, of course, we were using them along with SQL commands as well. And we were building some pieces and we were building some parts of our website. That means we built it as functionalities. So starting with adding routine, editing routine, delete routine, those were three main facilities. Then we built search routine. Those part of things we basically built. So it is, well, how do you say, like it is available where we have an application where it allows you to manage your database, or we have a dashboard. Through that, we can control the back end. This is for the person who is going to maintain your website. This is how we're going to maintain the data in the website. So that kind of a website, we have developed it. If you see that, still it is available inside my computer. That is in my local machine only, it's available. Now you people, though you are participating for this online session, if you want to check the website there, you won't be able to access it. You won't be able to access it. As you can see in my local computer, I have published this website, which is under HND 4850 batch folder. We have worked up to version 3 of our website. So this is what we do have. We still do not have a home page which it directs us to the dashboard. We can do that very simply. Actually, we need to just log in first of all. And what we do is, then we are inside our website. This is our dashboard. From this one, I can access my facilities of the website and I can do this work. All right. The thing is, now still this website is in my computer. And if you wish to access this one, I need to make sure this goes to the World Wide Web. So you should get an address where you can type something like www. the website name.com. When you press the enter key, you should be able to go. At least I'm going to publish it under the website with HND 4850, like a folder like this. I'm going to publish your website. Today I'm going to publish like this. So www. I have a domain. So we have vikascandy.com. It is already purchased by the college and given to me. I'm using it for the testing purpose. So I'm going to show you how it's going to be done, right? So I'll show you the things, what we receive and how we're going to do that part, right? That is basically, we need to shift it to the World Wide Web. That means we need to put it on the web server or the server. Let's call this as a web server, right? So migrating your files or sending your files from your developer PC to the web server. This process, when you add them, when you send them, right? So this is called the web hosting part. So that process. So when you're uploading, that is, you're going to upload your website to the web server. You're going to put it in a common place. This website will have it is like this. It is connected to the World Wide Web. So from any place in the world, it can be accessible, not in your developer PC. This is the one web server. It's going to be distributing all the files and features once people visit your website. So we're going to make sure we do that one first. So we're going to put our website to the World Wide Web. That's what we're going to do first. Okay, first thing that we're going to do. Once we do that, in order to make sure our website works, we have the database also part of this application that we built. This web application incorporates a database as well. So that database as well need to get migrated. So that database also we will be sending that database as well from here, and we will be configuring that as well. There is a way to do that part. So uploading only the files from the development PC or the developer PC to the server is not enough. You need to migrate, or you need to send your database here to the server as well. So sending the database have some steps. So you need to understand, I will tell you that. Only you can create tables inside the web server when it is providing you the MySQL database server. It will provide you with the privileges that you are getting. Only you can create tables. You can't create a database as you want. You can create a database. It will come like Vikas Candy dash DB1, DB2, like we can create as whatever the name that we want, we can't create it. So there are some steps that we're going to follow. After we create a database there, I'm going to have all my tables, which I have created here, along with the data. I'm going to send it to my database as well. So once that database is created and that is properly configured, there will be small alterations that we have to do to this file, which we have already done. That is DB connection .php file. Once we upload it to the server, we will have to do a small change in this particular file. Then it will work with the newly uploaded or migrated database. Our server will properly communicate, and it will send and it will receive information from there. This is just the overall idea or overall plan of what we have going to do. This is one part we're going to do. So from there, I will stop the video recording. Then I will separately show you how to work with emails. So we will do it as two separate videos: web hosting one part, emailing with PHP another part, right? So two parts we will get it recorded, right? So without further delay, let's get started then. Right. So step one, what you do is, now you need to web host. When you want to host a website, there are certain things that you need to buy. One is you need to have a domain, right? So you can buy a domain like, so there are websites like GoDaddy. This is a very world's largest type of web hosting companies. So through this one, with your debit or credit card, you can purchase them. Again, you can purchase a domain, and their service is also really good. Anyways, if you're watching through my video, this is no promotion for GoDaddy website or whatsoever. This is we are doing for education purpose. So I do some, because we are in Sri Lanka now, so I do my clients, or I give solution from this particular website. Again, this is not a promotion for this particular web hosting company. I do my sessions from this one, so which is Lankan Host website. Okay, Lankan Host is the platform that I'm using. So they have some reasonable plans here. So there is no credit card or debit card necessary for this one. Simply you can deposit money in the bank and get something quickly set it up, and their service is also really good. So what you do first is you have to choose a plan, right? I can log in here as a customer and do it, because it's not part of my lesson today. I'm not going to do it. You have to first of all create a customer account here. Okay, you can become a client for this particular company. Even in GoDaddy, that's the same. So lankanhost.com, you create an account with them. Once you get your account created with them, what you do next is you're going to you're going to purchase packages like this, right? So for example, most of the time I go for this particular plan, right? So it says a personal plan, 2 GB disk space they will give in our server. Disk space, the common hard drive, we will get 2 GB quota for us. Disk space, we can have files for up to 2 GB. 10 GB bandwidth, which means when we upload files and data from the developer PC to the server, how much of data is being transferred, that is also calculated. As well as when people are visiting our website, our web server is distributing, or it is giving the files. It is going to give the files and web pages they are requesting. So whatever the data going out of your web server is also calculated. So uploading and downloading both from the web server is what is made up as the 10 GB bandwidth. So 10 GB bandwidth for one particular month. So this is more than enough. If it is your, if it is a millions of hits and all, if we are coming, then you'll have to go for a package, unlimited package. So that you can think secondly, right? So that is being said. So you can simply go here, read more. You can see details, what you are getting and all the things, right? So that particular package, what you are getting, you can simply get. This is the package I was saying. So this will add up to 1,200 rupees per 1 year. That is, if you're getting this package, 1,200 for the disk space and the features. So the operating system that you're using is Cloud Linux, and what type of hard drives, MySQL databases, how much you are getting. So 5 MySQL databases can be created under this one. Subdomains, you can put 200, right? A lot of things. We are getting the cPanel, control panel, we are getting cPanel software. We're going to work with this. I'm going to show you lot of options. All the packages have their backup options, right? So all the things available, all the things available. SSD DB disks they are using, right? So all the facilities are there. So this can service provider to service provider. This can be varying. This can be different. Okay, so you need to check what package actually you want. All right. So I'm already a customer from this. So what I would do is simply I will, if this is the package I have chosen, I will fill in the information, right? So I can check for a domain name and all the things. Then I will be buying the thing, right? I will be buying the thing. Right. Let me quickly log into this and come back. So this is the client logging area I have purchased from this particular company. This is my personal one. I'm just showing you. I'm going to use the one which is provided by the college when we want to do. I don't want to log in like that. I just show you how this can be done. After you create the account, you can go to your this one and you can do it. So you can go for services, order new services, domains. If you're buying only domains, that is also possible. So you can go services, order new services. So what kind of a package you are buying, say budgeted web hosting, things like that, extra plan. This is what I was looking for, 2 GB plan, right? So we will choose this plan and we'll say continue. Once we do that, we need to get a website also registered. So we type something like this. We'll type hnd4850.com. So if it is there, we can get it hosted. So you have to think about a creative name, catchy name, and you can get it hosted. So these kind of domains, you can check for the availability. So I'm looking for a .com without wasting time. Let's click on continue. I want Lankan Host to register a new domain for me. So this company will register that for you as well. Right. So it says hnd4850.com is available. So we can order this. Whereas if you give something like yahoo.com, which is not available. Everybody knows that. Okay. We can't do that. Yahoo.com is not possible. So let's continue with this one, right? So we will continue with this particular thing, hnd4850. So by billing cycle annually or biannually. So for 1 year or 2 years, there's no difference in that. We will select this. Then do you want a dedicated IP? So for that one, they will be annually charging another amount. So SSL certificate, and again, they will be annually charging 3,800. So that means HTTPS we can get, and with a dedicated IP, so 3,800 additionally charged. So this is given as add-ons. So if you want, you can do that one. I'm not doing any credit card transactions, or I don't have any what do you call critical information in my website. So I don't want to go for these things. So just say continue. Then DNS management and ID protection do you want? So if we tick this one, which means if someone else orders a website like hnd4850.com, and if they can check out before I do, they will get it. Unless I select this one, ID protection. If I select this and keep, then for that, they are again charging 400 additional. So I don't want any of those things. I want to keep this part very short, children. Then this is what basically comes my, what do you call, checkout information, and I can from checkout from here, and I can do the payment, right? So if I check it out, this will be billed. I have to do the payment. So this is how I can complete the order here. So there are two options, totally 2,200 for this one domain and 1,700 for the package. Altogether 2,900 per year is my total charge. Or you can pay it directly from your credit cards or from your PayPal, right? So this is a secure connection. You can do that, right? I usually do from here. I do a bank transaction. Then I do the payments, right? It's like this. So just go to lanternhouse.com. Here you can find their payment options. So if you click on that, there's a bank number is given. As I told you, because I am doing with this, I'm just showing you the steps. This is no promotion to this particular company, right? Okay, so here you can find their name and the account number. So for this account number, if you deposit this particular amount of your bill, and you have to send email or SMS them the transaction details. Of course, they have the WhatsApp number and all the things these days. So your website name, hnd4850.com, from Mavanella branch I have deposited. So transaction code is this much, date of deposit, and the transaction code I have to send. So once you inform them, within 15 minutes, they will set up the website for you. Okay, right. Now we will assume that we have paid the amount for this particular thing, and we have sent the payment details to the client. We have sent the payment details to our service provider. Then in our email, we will receive an email. Okay, right. Okay, so I'll show you that part as well now. Now, for learning purpose from the college, we have purchased this one. This website is purchased bcascandy.com. So I'm the one who's managing this one. This is for educational purpose. We have purchased it, so I can show how to host and all the things. So this is just, I have displayed the logo of the college. That's all I'm doing here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to manage this and show you. That's all. After purchasing this only, now I have actually configured this everything. That is why when you type www.bcascandy.com, this is appearing. So before this, what is going to happen is you will receive an email. So I have a file opened here. You will receive an email. So all the password details and the critical information I have masked like this, or I have erased and put just letter X's instead of that. I have the original file with me, which I will be using, copying and pasting these things. For security reasons, I have just hidden all this information. So if you see here, this is registered for my name actually. Please keep in mind that your domain name may not be visible on the internet for between 24 to 48 hours. This process is called propagation. So that time period, website is not visible or it will not properly working. Now we have hosted this on some time back, maybe 8-9 months back. So this is totally working, no worries. But if you have a launching ceremony tomorrow, if you're going to host the website now, by the time when the chief guest opens the website, maybe the website is not up and running again, because make sure that you at least 1 week before the launching ceremony, you have everything hosted properly and get it done. I'm not going to read the whole thing down. And you need to upload all the information under the folder public HTML. I'm going to practically show that part. No need to read this, right? So down there, you will see the account information. So domain that we have taken is bcascandy.com. That is the domain. So www.bcascandy.com means that we have purchased it. And I have a username given for the cPanel, which is the control panel, and a password also given for that cPanel. I have the other file. I will copy and paste by the time I'm logging in. So by using this username and password, I have to log in there. Log in and I can do the configuration. So that is what we're going to do now. So I'm going to do that one in two ways. One, without a FTP client. Number two, with the FTP client, I'm going to do. Anyways, I'm on a fiber optic client, so I don't feel the difference. I can do it either way. But for you, it will be much easier if you do the FTP client method. It's much easier. So I'll show you the both methods quickly. Down here, it says temporarily you may use one of the addresses given below. Manage your website. Now, immediately after hosting, after 15 or 20 minutes, once they give you these details, you will not be able to access www.bcascandy.com and you won't be able to do the work. So what you need to do is a temporary IP address has been given. You can make use of this IP address and temporarily host it. So later it will be shifted to www.bcascandy.com automatically. Don't worry. So if you want to instantly get it hosted, you can use these information. So in our case, we don't need this one because our domain has been taken maybe 8-9 months back. So this is not necessary. Okay, so once the website is propagated, you can see FTP and web page URL, control panel, everything. They have given the URLs here. So this is what I'm going to use, which means www.bcascandy.com/cpanel. So I'm going to access the control panel. So let's see how it's done. So this is the file, right? So I will not need it now. So you go to this page, www.bcascandy.com, and you put a / like this, / you type cpanel and press the enter key. Or else you can type, if you remember, if you're a techie guy, you can type 2083 port. That's the FTP port, right? So you can type 2083 port. It will connect you to that service cpanel. I'm going to type cpanel for everybody's practicing purpose. When you press the enter key, this will take you to the logging screen of the cpanel. cpanel is a software, and this cpanel software allows you to maintain your website. It's very easy and very convenient to work with this. It has hundreds of features. We are not going to use all of them, right? Okay, so here the username I'm going to use, right? So, and the password I'm going to paste. So I showed you these two things. The username and password I will receive, then I will copy paste and I will click on login, then I will be inside, right? Okay, so I will do that for you, right? I have the original password here. So I will put my password there, and I have a username also there. So I will paste it here. Purposely I'm clicking on login button. I'm bringing in, okay, logging in is successful, right? I have logged in now. Right, so I will close this, right? Once you have logged in to your cPanel, this kind of interface will be visible to you, right? So I have minimized certain things and kept, because I'm not working with everything, right? So if you want to see under all these accordion details, you have a lot of information. This might be sometimes overwhelming you and difficult to find information. So I just keep things closed, right? So you can keep them nicely organized, right? Out of this, basically what we need is, honestly, I don't use all these features, okay? Under the files section, file manager will be useful for us. You can check the disk usage on all these kind of things. This is one thing I'm going to use. Number two, I'm going to use databases. Number one, I'm going to do is MySQL databases. I'm going to create my database first. Then I'm going to use the phpMyAdmin to migrate my database from my developer PC to this server. So those are the two steps I'm going to mainly do. All right. Now, what we're going to do is, first we will go to the file manager. Right. In the file manager, once you go here, children, you can see that there is an option called public HTML. Public HTML. Once you go inside this folder, this is the place where you should host your websites. This is the place where you can host the websites. As you can see, there are some previously existing files and folders, because this is I'm using for practicing purpose of others, all the things. So you can see the BCAS logo is here. This logo is there. And because logo is there, and you can see for HND 50 also we have hosted our website here. Previously, when we were practicing, we have done that. So here what we're going to do is these files I can't delete, because then if I do that one, this will be damaged. This will be damaged in the sense this piece will go. I just want, when someone comes, bcascandy.com, this logo to be displayed. That's all, right? Okay, that is what I have designed here and kept. So that's it. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to have a folder for you people, and we can have our website files under that. So I'm using no FTP client. I'm using the web browser to do this one. This is not the ideal way to do it. Second step, we will do it using FTP. client, right? Okay, you can simply create a folder here, right, and hit on folder, and we will call this one as HND 4850, HND 4850, and where it is getting created under public HTML. Hit the create new folder button. Now this is getting created. Now you can see HND 4850 is there. We can open it and go inside. Now the problem here is we need to upload the files. Now when we want to upload the files, we can go here, right, upload. So it says drag and drop the files here to upload for uploading. So you can upload one file at a time, right? So if you go here, HND 48, now version 3 is the one we have to upload. So we have, see, multiple files. I can't select. I'm holding my control key, can't do that. So I have to select. First of all, we will upload our login1.php file. So we'll try that one. So login1. Yeah, here we have it. So if I select, I just want to show you that how it's done, right? Open, then it goes. So how I'm going to send a folder then? Let's say I want to send the images folder or products folder. If I send that, so it is going inside the folder. That's the problem. So one by one only you can upload the file. So this is not the ideal way. Okay, but we have uploaded that file. Now from your computer also, if you type now bkaskandy/hnd4850, you will be able to see this login1.php file. So if I hit on that, you will see the HTML document of that login screen. So this is, we have published it now. I have migrated from my personal computer here at home computer to this World Wide Web part, right? So this is using the web browser method one by one. If you are uploading a file, single files, this can be useful, but this is not the way we're going to do, right? This is not the way I'm going to do. So to do this one, we can make use of an application called FTP client. There are a lot of FTP client softwares available. So I'm using FileZilla Portable, FileZilla Portable. So you can make use of this one. You can go to portableapps.com, and from that, under internet section, you can download this application. It's totally free. It's an open source app. If you go here, there is a section where I can manage all my domains from this particular section, right? All these domains I'm maintaining from here. So if you want to temporarily log into a web server and do some work, you can type the hostname and the username password. Then you can log in and do the work also. For maintenance purpose, I have saved them. Okay, I have saved them. So it's very simple if you want to create a new one also, right? So you can say, go to site manager. You can open site manager. You can select new site. I think bkaskandy will be there. Yeah, bkaskandy is already there, children. So I have already created it. So let's say hnd4850.com. If we have a website, we create that. And what we do is we will be, for that, we have to give the information. So the website is www.hnd4850.com. If it is that what you have purchased, port number, don't leave it blank. Protocol FTP encryption, just leave it like this. Don't change any of this. Login type, you put it to normal, and the username, the service provider who gave you that username, you use that name here, and the password that they gave, you can use it here. Okay, and you can log into that and you can work from there. So I'm going to freshly do that and show you how it's done if you are doing it right. Okay, so I don't need this. The entire thing I need, right? So database backup, we don't need. Upload test also we don't need. Other things, temp also we don't need. Other than that, other files needed. So I'm going to I'm zipping this one as a zip file, right? We can zip it best. Right, so file doesn't really matter what name it is, not really matters. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to go upload, select that zipped file, right? So same place, zipped file I'm selecting, open it. So it is getting uploaded, right? So it got uploaded, just 2 MB file, right? So it didn't take much time. Let it turn to green. Yeah, it's done. Now you can close this window and you can go back. You can reload this and you will be able to see the file that you uploaded. Select the file, right click on it and select extract. It'll ask where to extract. Public HTML/hnd4850. So it's going to extract it inside 4850 folder. So I'm going to say extract files. So it's done. So all the files and folders are available. Now, if you type www.bkascandy/hnd4850, you will be able to see the whole website. And not only that, but also the login screen, everything will be there. Only thing is you won't be able to log in now because we haven't migrated the database and logged in. So if I try to log in, it will say connection failed because the database part is missing. Right. So that is the part we're going to do next. So I'm going to migrate my database from my machine to the server. Okay. Step one, what I'm going to do is I will be coming back here. Step one I'm going to do here is we can do it in either way. I can create a database first. I have to create a database first. To that database, I can upload. Okay. I can upload. Right. So let's select MySQL database. So here, create new database, right? So here you have check databases. So I have already done for HND47 batch. So that is also available there. So we're going to say here 4850. So the database name is going to be bkascand, bkas kn and underscore this one. So I'm going to maintain a notepad file here. So DB name is like this, because can be short form, right? 4850, right? Then I'm going to first click the create database. This is the one you do first, then the database is created. So go back. Now the database is created here. Modify databases, check database, repair database. I'm not going to do any of those. This is the database recently created one. It's there. Come down here, right? Here what we need to do is we need to create a user and add that user to this database and give the privileges. That is what we need to know next. So we will say HND 4850. That's the username. Okay, this is the username, right? So for that, username is bkascand underscore HND 4850, right? And the password is also needed. We will type the password as HND 4850. And we will type some symbols, right? I'm going to hold the shift key and type some symbols like 0, 8, 9, 10, like this. We'll type some symbols, right? So that is my password. Okay. This is for the database password. So I'm going to put that and password strength. Okay. It's very strong password. So we copied and pasted it. Then you can create the user. Now user database is created. A user is created. Now you have to assign the user to the database, add user to database. So select the database first, sorry, user, then select the database. So HND 4850, that's the user. Database is bkascand HND, not HND 4850. So we are adding to that user. So that database, when you are selecting add, it is asking for the privileges. Are you going to give him only to create, let's say he can only execute queries, can't do anything, can't even edit a record. So I'm going to give all privileges. So be careful when you're giving this one, if that is a user. If you give drop privileges and all, databases can be deleted, right? So I'm going to click make changes. Okay, now it's successfully done. That part is done. So database is created and it's been, user is created, privileges is created, and he has been added to the database part. That part is done now. That part is done now. Now what we need to do is we need to export our database from here. So I'm going to use my HeidiSQL tool. Then I'm going to choose, first I'll log in. I have to start my services. Right. Since I restarted, that error is coming. Okay, started. Right, let's log in there. Right, I'm inside my HeidiSQL tool. So this is the database I have selected, DB underscore AD 4850. Right click on it, select export database as SQL as this one. Then what you do is you hit hold on a second, children. Select export database as SQL. Then here you can choose, it's already selected the database part. Already that part is selected, and make sure when you want to export this one, you do not select create database part. Just give me just a small emergency. Wait, children. When you are exporting your database from your machine, make sure that you do not select databases part here. Only that part you need to focus, right? Do not select the databases part here. Then what you do is here you make sure tables part is created. Do not select drop also. Tables part you select. Then you select data here. Insert. Data part you have to say insert. Then what you do is from here there are two options. One is you have to select the file name, then export. There's a small thing you need to understand. File name part is there. First of all, you have to choose this button. Then you have to, here I have already taken a backup to give you that day. So when I'm taking the backup, I'm taking inside your folder, chapter 3, chapter 7, version 3, database backup folder is there. Inside that, I'm going to give all tables full backup. All tables full backup. Then we'll click on save button. Then we click on export button. Right? So when you do that, when you click on the export button, I'll show you the file also here. Here inside database backup folder, a new file will be created. SQL file will be created. All tables full backup. This is full of, it's a text file with SQL commands. All the things are there along with the database table and data. Everything is there. Now this is the database table we have to migrate to there, right? So what we get to do is, in this one, we already did the part. So what we have to do is we have to go back. Earlier I went to MySQL database part and did. Now what we're going to do is we're going to select PHP myadmin, choose this. Choose this part. Then from here you can see there are some databases already showing. This is for the previous batch and this is for your batch, right? So once you choose this, because Candy, you choose this one. Then what you do is, it is possible for you to create tables here, but we are not going to do like that. We're going to import our SQL file, right? So we're going to select import here, not export. From this tool we exported, okay? We have exported it. Now we're going to import, right? We got to import that. Selecting that import part. Here it is asking you to choose the file, right? So we will choose the file. We already there. Going inside the folder. DB backup. All tables full backup. Make sure you take this one and select open, and you will be clicking on go button. That's all, nothing else. SQL compatible, nothing you have to worry about here. Select your SQL file and just click on go button, and all the SQL commands will be executed. There is an error message coming. Import has been successfully finished. 20 SQL is executed. Cannot add foreign key construct. There's error coming. Let's try that one once more and see. We will do like this. We will come here. We will export like this time. Export database as SQL. This time, let me select cities, districts, and provinces. Let us not select that. And we will select tables. We'll create the table and export the data as well. Click on this button. All tables full backup. Yes. Say export. Nice. Right. So we will click on import button. This database is selected, then click import button. We'll try the same SQL command once more. All tables full backup. Click open. Then say go. This time, hopefully it will be fine. Right. This that is because of that imported database earlier. That is what the trouble came. This is fine. That is encoding type is different in that. Okay, children, we have hopefully taken the part here. Now what we need to do is, still if you try to log in, it will not let you in because the DB connection file is still having a problem, right? So to do that, what we need to do is after exporting the database here, now we have exported the database, you can go to the, here, you can see the logs tape file here. See if I click on the logs file, you can see the data, use ID, access code, all the things you can see here. What we need to do is in the control panel, you can choose DB connection file, DB connection, right click on that, select edit. So select this edit option and in the edit option, just say edit. And here, it is having these details. So that is why I created into variables, just a matter of changing these details. So server name, we are not going to change. It's going to be the local host itself. The username, we will have to change. This is the username. So let's copy that and put it there. Username is that. Then the password is this. And database name is this. Right. Okay, everything done. Then when you save this, right? Okay, saving is done. Now you can go back to your website. Okay, let's try this one now. admin@admin.com. Simple admin, just click on login button. It's giving an error. Let me fix that error quickly. Right. DB connection, edit. Username. That's correct. Username is, I think it's the wrong thing here, right? I got it. Now we have properly uploaded the database as well. Now I wish you can try from your computer as well. You can log in and do things, right? So please go to the add part from your computer and add a picture or add a record quickly. So I will search from here all the records. It will come. Quickly go there and do this one, right? So I will give you the URL. So just do that. So just to prove that it's working. So I'll just search for all the records what I have. This is what all the things that I have. You can just roughly type something and quickly upload. Once you upload a record, give me a thumbs up, then I will reload it and see. Quickly do it, children. Yeah. So haven't you uploaded thing? Yeah. So to the upload thing we will do. I can do it. Everybody uploaded? No. So we'll upload a picture from here, whatever. So let's put that picture. When you upload, it got uploaded. There we go. We have uploaded it. Right? Okay. So hopefully you can do that very simply from any computer you like. Okay. So that is how this one, that is how you migrate the website. That is how we do the web hosting part. So after developing it in our PC, that is how we push the things to the web server. Hopefully you found the session useful, and you will be able to do it if you have a domain purchased you and you have all the privileges like this. You can do it. So make sure you practice this one as well. Okay. Thank you very much for the time, and see you on another video.